Welcome back to the channel. It's been an absolutely shocking past week for Luna, and you're all probably wondering, how are we going to bounce back by this? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you the right revival plan. I'm going to interpret that for you, and we're going to talk about whether this project is essentially going to become a meme project or whether it truly is going to rise from the ashes and bounce back. So make sure you stick around, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, click the bell notification icon so you can stay up to date with all my recent new videos and Luna updates moving forward. Guys, let's get straight into it. Luna is currently up just under 7,000% from its all-time lows, which was only 2 days ago on May the 13th. And we're going to talk about how this bounce back could be correlated with the revival plan as well. And as you can see, guys, only a month ago, this was at an all-time high of $119. Absolutely, shocking. But let's get straight into it, guys. Terra ecosystem revival plan. Do Kwon has this to say: governance and proposals. This was posted on May the 13th. So there's been several community and validator groups discussing launching a fork of the Terra chain to make the ecosystem whole from the UST depegging event. Wanted to offer my perspective on how this should be done. As of this time, there are still several $1 billion worth of UST, and the value of Luna token has fallen to essentially zero, as many of you may already know. Even if the peg were to eventually restore after the last marginal buyers and sellers have capitulated, the holders of Luna have so severely been liquidated and diluted that we will lack the ecosystem to build up from the ashes. While a decentralized economy does need a decentralized money, UST has lost too much trust with its users to play the role. Now, many people may interpret this as something negative. I see it as something that's realism, right? It's acknowledging the reality so you can move forward, right? I like that. Again, many investors, astute investors, are going to like this, right? Because if he was to to come out and say something that's mathematically not possible or not based in any fact, then of course, again, it will not revive, it will not grow, and it will not progress moving forward. So I like this. I like the acknowledgement. And as I said to you guys before in my first video, this project cannot be restored unless the confidence of the people have been restored. And I already spoke about how they can do this. Again, you can watch those videos after this one. So what remains? While UST has been the central narrative of Terra's growth story over the last year, the Terra ecosystem and its community is what is worth preserving. Very interesting. We've built up one of the largest and most vibrant developer ecosystems in crypto with some of the smartest minds in the world working on products with the best UI UX. Terra Station has a large install base with 1 million plus users across the world. Although in distress, strong brand recognition and a name that almost everybody in the world will have heard about. Very interesting here. And this is what, of course, is definitely what's on Luna's side. They have built the largest and most vibrant developer ecosystem in the crypto with the smartest minds in the world working on products. We know this, right? And as you guys may know from other, real world events, this is a real world event, but things that happen in the centralized space, such as the housing bubble in 2008, the Great Depression, right? When the markets have crashed. How have these countries bounced back? Because the people have been resilient. The labor force, continued plowing along. The great minds did not disappear. They stood their ground and they bounced back, as seen in America, as seen in the UK, as seen across Europe, right? The event in 2008 literally almost turned the economy into ashes, but yet the people bounced back. And the same thing can happen here, but here's the elephant in the room on that point, guys. At the end of the day, capital is important. The people need to be compensated for their labor, for the great mind, for their work, etc. Right? And of course, without that large injection in capital that we saw in 2008, the bank bailouts, etc., unfortunately, those great minds would have went elsewhere, right? So we also have to take that into account. Yes, we know they do have a large ecosystem, but these people aren't going to work for free. So that injection of capital is very, very important. Let's continue. The Terra community must reconstitute the chain to preserve the community and developer ecosystems. So this is the point that I want you guys to take note of. Start writing notes, or maybe slow this bit down and read it yourself, etc. So validators should reset the network ownership to 1 billion tokens distributed among, so I agree with this point, low coin supply, distributed among 400 million, 40% to Luna holders before the depegging event. Last $1 tick before the depeg on Binance should be reasonable. B Luna, etc. Luna held in contracts should also be recipients minus the Terraform Labs account at, here we go. The new chain should be community owned. Preserving decent ownership of the network in the strongest believers and builders is important. 400 million, 40%, another 40% to UST holders pro rata at the time of the new network upgrade. UST holders need to be made whole as much as possible. Again, this is very important because, guys, to be honest with you, without this actually happening, without that elephant in the room, the people that had their money in stable coins and were wiped out, they must be restored for any credibility to come back for Luna to be taken serious and not become that meme coin Shiba, which we're going to talk about in the next video, right? Because that's going to be an important one as well, and how people can literally make billions just off that alone. But this is very important. If this project, if Terra ecosystem, if Terra Labs, etc., Duquan art is to be taken seriously in the future, they need to be restored. And I think everybody watching this video can agree on that. 100 million, 10% to Luna holders at the final moment of the chain halt. Last minute margin Luna buyers should be compensated for their role in attempting to provide stability for the network. Again, thumbs up for that. 100 million to the community pool to fund future development. All Luna besides the third tranche should be staked at the network genesis state. The network should incentivize its security with reasonable inflationary rate, say 7%, as fees will no longer be enough to pay for security without the swap fees. Now, what I'll do, guys, in fact, let me just finish this off, and then, of course, we can discuss at the end, right? We'll conclude. Call to action. Why does this redistribution make sense? USD holders need to own a large share of the network. As the network's debt holders, they deserve to be compensated for the tokens they have been holding till the end. I agree with this 100%, and I think everybody watching this will agree on this point. And let's be honest, there will be no faith in this project unless this happens. Terra needs a community to continue to grow and make its block space valuable again. The only way to do this is to make sure that the token holders, before the attack commence, the most loyal community members and builders, stick around to keep providing value. Now, this is interesting because, let's be honest, those people have absolutely no choice, right? They've already been wiped out. Of course they're going to stick around. What are they going to do? I've just lost 5 million in coin, 5 million of value down to, let's say, $5,000 or $1,000. Of course they're going to stick around, right? So, yeah. Is it hard? It is hard balance, and no easy answers in redistributing value within the network, but value must be distributed to allow the ecosystem to survive, and its current state, it will not. The future of Terra network. The rallying cry for the Terra community has always been a decentralized economy needs decentralized money. This is an exciting vision, and the UST has not been successful. The Terra community will find ways of iterating on the idea at some point in the future, but the priority now should be to preserve this amazing ecosystem and to make as many users and builders as possible. Terra should first preserve its layer 1, and communities should gather to discuss decentralized money once the dust has settled. I hope the community can achieve a speedy consensus on how to revive the Terra ecosystem, and I will always be there my friend, you have no choice. You know, let's face it, you have no choice. There's no way you can go. You know, whether that's in the central, I don't even think, you know, this kind of event, especially the magnitude of what's actually happened, you have no choice, right? So this, of course, and we'll talk about that in another video as well, and we will, you know, we'll look at the timeline of events. Were there any red flags? Were there things to look out for, etc.? We'll get into that. But so far, you know, I like what I'm seeing. This is just completely realistic for everybody watching this. They've acknowledged, let's face it, USCC just hasn't been successful. So, you know, it's time to iterate, it's time to pivot, and it's time to move on and revive Luna. Guys, this is going to be a very interesting journey, and I think everybody watching this, well done for making it till the end, right? Very, very good. Click the link in my description, join the Telegram group as well, so you can stay up to date with all my recent updates, news updates, you know, and much, much more, right? If you want to get more in depth in the discussion, click the link below. And of course, guys, if you want to join our CC Premium group and see how we're actually strategically playing this out, entries, exits, our next 100x gems, and much, much more, click the link in my bio and join that Crypto Crew Premium channel today, guys. Very important that you do that. But yeah, in the next video, we're going to talk about will Luna become a meme coin, right? And how fortunes will be made regardless. But anyway, guys, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Until the next update, guys, seize the day. And in fact, I will end by the classic: when others are fearful, be greedy. When others are greedy, be fearful.